Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me on this warm and sunny Monday here in Calgary, Alberta. All right. I know I have my vlogs out right now. I just always have them just in case I choose to need them, but we actually don't need blocks today. Although, as per usual, the invitation is that if blocks are part of your regular practice, or books, or even a blanket to prop you up from Sukhasana, you can absolutely go ahead and grab that. All right. Without further ado, let's drop in. We've got a feel good flow today. I know a lot has been happening around the world, and it does not stop our regular lives from happening as well. So when one is coupled on top of another, it can just feel like a lot. So this week's theme is kind of a continuation of last week, where last week was coming back to our hearts and sinking back in. This week's theme, Monday and Thursday, is simply going to be a place for you to rest, a place for you to come back to your anchor. And truly, this is what the root of yoga is anyway. Yoga, the root word yuj, Y-U-J, is to yoke, to come back to your true sense of self, your truth. Okay, without further ado, go ahead, go place yourself in Sukhasana, legs crossed. That is, of course, unless your knees are injured or sore, in which case, go ahead, stretch them out in front of you. Okay, hands cupped over your knees or palms face the sky, whichever feels most natural to you today. And a deep inhale. Exhale, gently allow your eyes to close. Nice. Yeah, perfect. The first few breaths, permission for yourself to arrive. Just be here. If only just for the next 45 minutes. This is permission for you to just be. There's no expectations for you to do anything else or be anything else other than what you are right now. Allow that relief sink in. And perhaps sometimes it's also helpful to turn that permission towards yourself, for you to give yourself permission to let go of all anticipations and expectations. That anything that was happening outside of the mat, beyond the mat, prior to this moment, to give yourself permission to let go of that. And trusting that you being here on your mat, in your yoga practice, is the most perfect thing that you can do right now. And with that, take one releasing breath, a long, deep inhale through your nose. And don't hold back, side out through your mouth. Yeah. Watch your shoulders drift away from your ears. And as you land back into your body, see if you can sense the insides of your palms. That's how you know you've come back to your body, into your body. Can you sense the insides of your palm? Can you sense the insides or the bottoms of your feet, soles of your feet? If you can't quite find the bottoms of your feet, give your toes a little wiggle. Just a reminder where the bottoms of your feet are. Perhaps you feel a temperature, a warmth or coolness, sensing the bottoms of your feet. Now that you've collected all the pieces of yourself and all of you is here, breathe as your whole self, your full self. A long, deep inhale through your nose, and even longer and more complete exhale through your nose. Long, deep inhale through your nose. Relax your lungs, allowing the air to fill in. Relax your belly. And exhale, and even longer. Exhale through your nose, complete and full. Nice. Breathing in this way, just 2 more breaths. And see if there's any way that you could possibly soften your entire body just a little bit more. Those shoulders sinking a little further away from your ears. Yeah, the insides of your legs softening just a bit so that your knees drift a little closer toward the mat. And then ease coming through these long, deep breaths. The ability for your body to soften, to relax, helps indicate to the rest of yourself that you're safe now. And it's okay to let go. And just come back to a place of equilibrium, place where you're neither trying too hard or too little. Place that gives you permission, that allows you to be in absolute presence. And it is in presence. Well, that's the realest thing that we got, the present moment, exactly where you are right now and you breathing. And it is in this presence that is the access to the joy that we so desire. The past causes rumination, maybe even a depression or a grief. And the future, we stay there for too long, causes anxiety, worries. So, this is what we practice on the mat, of truly being able to be here for every single breath. There is no rush, slow, slow. And before we begin our practice today, just take a moment for yourself and set an intention for your practice. What is it that you would like to practice for today? What is it that you'd like to achieve or hold in your mind? Perhaps it can be forgiveness for yourself or for someone in your life. It could simply be the intention of being mindful and staying present throughout the whole practice. And then with that, let's begin our practice. Gently flutter your eyes open and inhale, arms up toward the sky. Nice reach up, stretch up. Let it feel good as you sway from side to side. Holy cow, my side body is so tight today. And that's the thing. Every day, our bodies are different. Every day, we are different, and we have the option moment to moment to choose how we want to be, who we want to be, to tune in. Come back to center. Exhale, reach forward, belly button to your spine, round forward, reach forward. A seated cat. Inhale, rise up, reach up, allow that right hand to come down and left arm up and overhead, and be gentle with this first side opening. Inhale, reach up, rise up, left hand plants down, right arm up and overhead. If that right shoulder is rounding in, gently tuck it back so that you can feel this opening through your entire side body. One more time, inhale, reach up, rise up, moving slower than you want. Plant that right hand down, left hand up and overhead. Gently tucking that left shoulder back about an inch or so. And this time, if you have the space to, you might even come down onto your elbow or maybe elbow onto a block. My side body is tight today, so I will not be on my elbow, although this is a good demo. So I usually say only come down on your elbows if both sit bones can come down on, stay on the ground. Watch, if I go down on my elbow, you see how my sit bone lifts up? That is too far for me today. Inhale, rise up, reach up, left hand comes down and right arm overhead. If you have the space to come down onto your left elbow or left elbow onto a book or a block if you have one, although it's not necessary. Keep grounding down with that right hip. Nice. Reach up, rise up, and hands come forward, feet come behind. I had maybe an inkling of an intention today to maybe skip the cat cows, but I love these cat cows. So inhale, that's exactly where we're headed. Gaze up toward the sky, tailbone toward the sky. And exhale, round your back. Exactly. Cat cows. It is just such a great spinal awakening, an awakening for your entire body. And a chance to notice where you are. Exhale, round your back, press your hands into the ground. Letting all of this feel good, but also staying very mindful of what's being activated in your cat cows. Press your hands down as you dome up your upper back, opening up your upper back and shoulders. Inhale, stretching out through that belly. And let's wag the tail together. The next time you come back to tabletop position, stay here a hot moment, and then right hip to right shoulder, left hip to left shoulder, swing from side to side. And the next time that you come back to center, stay here a hot moment, and then left sit bone comes all the way down towards your left heel, rounding it toward the right hand side. And then right sit bone down towards your right heel, rounding it toward the left-hand side. Nice. Moving at your own pace. If you're ready to, you can pick the pace up wherever you are. Allow your breath to anchor you. And move with intention. Knowing why you're moving at the pace that you're moving in the first place. Knowing why you're taking the movement that you're taking in the first place. This, you may feel, is a nice hip opening. That's why we're here. Okay, eventually come back to tabletop position. Tuck your toes underneath the mat and hips up toward the sky, downward dog. Here, you'll take your free flow. So move in any direction that feels good to you. Stillness counts too. If it just feels best to stay still, stay exactly there. Maybe it feels good for you to pedal in and out your knees. You can even play around with opening up your legs toward mat distance apart. See what that does. You might stretch one hand behind to the opposite ankle, a little bit more of a side body opening. This is your time to explore. I'm going to stop talking, give you 5 breaths to do whatever feels good for you. And on that fifth breath, find stillness. And then walk your feet up towards your hands. Ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow. Rock your body up and down. And side to side. A slight bend in your knees, especially if you're feeling pulling in that low back. Nice. Allow your upper body, your neck, and your shoulders to find space. And then allow your arms to completely dangle, your weight emphasized on the balls of your feet. So you're not leaning back, you're leaning more or less forward if you had to choose one. Inhale, flat back, hands on your shins or hands on the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, hands on your shins, looking forward or hands on the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Bring a slight bend into your knees and inhale, arms come all the way up toward the sky. Hands to heart center, palms face forward. Let's do a slow flow. Inhale, arms up toward the sky. Gaze between your thumbs and exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. Inhale, flat back, hands on your shins or the ground. Look forward. Exhale, plant your hands. Step back, nice and slow. High plank, lower down. Knees, chest, and chin. Peel forward into a cobra, or if you're not quite ready for a cobra yet, baby cobra. Shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, lower back down. Come up onto your knees, taking it easy. Tuck your toes underneath the mat and hips toward the sky. Downward dog. Okay, this time in downward dog, check your foundation. Your hands are about shoulder distance apart. Your feet are about hip distance apart. Nice. Pressing down through all 10 fingertips and knuckles, especially your forefinger and your thumb. Protect your wrists. And then lift up through your tippy toes, all the way up onto your tippy toes. Exhale, draw your heels all the way back down. Heels may or may not land, and that's okay. And then this time, inhale, lift up through your hips, just your hips this time, not your feet. Nice. Turn your elbows, the eyes of your elbows inward so that they point toward each other. And press your hands down and up into the mat. Long spine. There we go. Downward dog. Slowly walk your feet up toward your hands. Nice. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, lower down. Heel toe yourself so that your feet are toward the outer edges of the mat. A wide-legged or a wider forward fold. Reach toward the top of your mat. Let your gaze come toward the wall or the door or the window behind you. And notice a slight opening through your upper back area. Release through your back leg line. And then heel toe yourself back into starting position. Inhale, flat back, look forward, hands on your shins or hands on the ground. Exhale, forward fold, and inhale, slight bend in your knees. Arms come all the way up toward the sky, hands to heart center, palms face forward. And let's take a standing half moon. Inhale, arms up toward the sky, interlace all 5 fingers, release the index. Your biceps hugging into your ears, and feel tall through your torso. We're going to take our time through this one. Feel tall through your torso. A lot of times, sometimes when I say feel tall, there's this puffing of that rib cage. So tuck your bottom 2 ribs in. Yeah. And then tip on over nice and slow toward the right-hand side. You might not have a mirror with you, and that's okay. Feel out what square feels like for your hips. Don't let the left hip swing forward or back. Let it be square. Right hand guides the left a little further. Inhale, rise all the way up, and exhale over toward the left-hand side. Shoulders draw away from your ears. Keep them nice and soft. The left hand guides the right a little further. Notice where your hips are, whatever square feels like to you. Inhale, rise all the way up. Okay, now take a generous bend into your knees. Nice. And we'll do a slight back bend. So almost like as if you're trying to lift your heart up above a shelf. Come up And bring your gaze toward the back wall. Inhale. Come back to center, hands to heart center, palms face forward, arms up toward the sky. Inhale, gaze between your thumbs, and exhale, swan dive down toward the top of the mat. Inhale, flat back, look forward, and exhale, plant your hands, step back with that left foot, low runner's lunge. Just take a moment here. Again, if you're practicing with blocks or books, this could be a place where you place the blocks or books underneath your hands. Take a moment here to notice how that left hip flexor is doing. And then let's flow. Exhale, straighten out that right leg, nose to shin. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, nose to shin. Inhale, come forward. Exhale, nose to shin. Stay here for one extra breath. Inhale. And exhale, low lunge, pressing into the ball of that left foot. Inhale, high lunge, pressing into that right foot, using your right leg. Nice for power. Keep pressing into that left leg so much so that that left leg lengthens out. And take a twist. Exhale, twisting with your left hand in front, your right arm behind you. Right arm comes all the way down toward that left leg and reach back with that left hand. Watch your balance here. Nice. Can be tricky, this one. Inhale, come back to your twist and spiral your hands over top of that right foot. Step forward with your left foot. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, arms up toward the sky, hands to heart center, palms face forward, and clasp your hands behind you. Draw those clasped hands down toward the back of the mat, almost like as if there were strings right to where your knuckles are, and it's just gently being pulled down. Open up your heart, roll your shoulders slightly back. Bring a bend into your knees, and exhale, forward fold. If it feels all right for you, go ahead, draw your clasped arms up and overhead. If drawing your clasped arms up and overhead feels like as if you're crushing your bones together, it is best. In fact, I insist that you leave your hands on your sacrum. If it feels good and it feels all right, straighten out your legs. Hands come back down toward your sacrum. Nice. Inhale, slight bend in your knees. Rise all the way up. Release the clasp from your hands and palms face forward. Take a moment here and find yourself. Find your footing. Noticing that the weight is evenly distributed between either side of your feet, insides and outsides, and the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet, and maybe even just closing your eyes. Finding your breath, long, deep inhale. And exhale. And this ease back within your body. So this ease through the palms of your hands, your shoulders drifting away from your ears. And just notice that even as you stand here in Tadasana, in mountain pose, as strong as you are, with the strength coming up through your legs and your torso and eventually out through the top of your head. And there's still this swaying that happens within you. This flexibility within you. And just like how the branches of a tree have a certain amount of bend in them so that they don't break, so too is your body not rigid. It's never black or white. There's always a bend so that you can adapt, so that you can flex, so that, as one of my favorite coaches say, Martha Beck, you can be in perpetual response to what's happening within you. It's this flexibility that allows us to adapt. It's not the rigidity. Gently flutter your eyes open. A little bit of a balancing act in and of itself. Okay, right arm comes straight out in front of you and wrap left arm under, up and over. Yes, eagle arms, so good for the shoulders. Take a moment here, just take one breath. And I'll move to the side so that you can see. And if you're ready for it, draw the palms of your hands closer together, your elbows towards your heart center, and maybe even up towards your chin a little bit. You can move much slower than how I said that. And pulse, just gentle pulses. And it doesn't have to be very far, just pulsing your elbows up and down. Encouraging a little more space between your shoulders. Eventually come back to stillness, and on your next inhale, imagine as if your shoulders and the backside are opening up, getting further away to the left and the right of each other. And exhale, gently release. Open up your arms. Nice. Left arm comes in front, right arm wraps under, up and over. Oh, the other side of your shoulder, and just bring a little bit of a body awareness here. Just noticing, is your left side tighter than your right, or vice versa? Sometimes the more dominant side of our body gets tighter because it ends up doing more work. Okay, the palms of your hands come together, elbows to heart center, and draw your elbows up towards your chin. Nice. Small pulses, moving your elbows up and down. Doesn't have to be very far. Just coaxing any tight places to open up, and indicating to them that it's okay. You can release that tension now. Gently come back to stillness, and on your inhale, imagine your shoulders stretching further to the left and to the right. And exhale, gently release your arms, open them out right wide out beside you. Hands come down to your sides. And inhale, arms up toward the sky. Gaze between your thumbs. Exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, and this time one big step back with that right foot. Nice low runner's lunge. Just take a moment here and notice how that right hip flexor is doing. And then let's flow. Exhale, straighten out your left leg, nose to your shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, nose to shin. Inhale, low runner's lunge. Exhale, nose to shin. Stay one full breath here. Low runner's lunge, really press into the ball of that right foot, and inhale, engage that left leg, come all the way up. Crescent lunge. Nice opening for your right hip flexor, nice strengthening for your left leg. Twist. Right arm in front this time, left arm behind. Nice. Keep pressing into the ball of that right foot. Left hand comes down towards your right leg and reach back with your left. A little bit of a balancing act. Keep your gaze in one place. Come on back toward a twist. Nice. And windmill your hands over top of that left foot. Right foot steps forward to meet the left. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands. Hop or step toward the back of your mat and flow through whichever variation that you'd like. You can lower down into Chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra. Shoulders away from your ears, and exhale, belly button to spine, downward dog. A long, deep inhale. A long, deep exhale. Then inhale, right leg up toward the sky. Bring a bend into that right knee. Nice. The right heel coming down toward your left sit bone. Really pressing down into the right hand, opening up that right hip. Leg comes back behind you. See if you can square your hips, though, toward the top of the mat or toward the mat. And then exhale, sweep right foot in between both hands. Rise up, low runner's lunge. Keep that right leg engaged. Maybe your knee comes in line with your ankle for a perfect 90 degrees, or maybe you work your way there. And then inhale, open up, warrior two. That left foot shifts toward the long edge of the mat. Keep that right leg engaged. Gaze past your right fingertips. Straighten out that right leg. Draw yourself toward the front of the mat and take a triangle pose. Inhale, left arm up toward the sky. Right arm down towards your right leg. It can be on your shin or your calf. And if you can keep the length in your side body, then maybe it comes all the way down towards your right ankle or around your right big toes. Notice the opening through that left side body, but at the same time, keeping that right side body engaged. Inhale, rise all the way up. Nice. Pivot your right toes so that it faces the long edge of your mat. Left foot toward the back of the mat. Warrior two. Notice your feet, that you're heel to heel, or at the very least, heel to midfoot. Notice that you're neither pulling forward or back with that top body and your strong gaze past your left fingertips. Nice, straighten out that left leg, draw yourself toward the back of the mat and lower down, triangle pose on this opposite side. Right arm reaches up toward the ceiling. In fact, notice the stacking of your right shoulder over top of your left. Imagine that there's an imaginary wall behind you. You're trying to flatten your back against that wall. If you can do so without cranking your neck, a gentle gaze toward the top of your right fingertips. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Nice. Pick up that right heel facing the back of your mat now. Crescent lunge. Nice. Straighten out that left leg. Pivot both feet toward the long edge of the mat. Hands to either side of your hips. And exhale, fold forward, wide-legged. Forward fold. Eventually, your hands come down in front of you. If it doesn't quite meet the floor, then this is a good place for your block or the books. Or if it does easily actually meet the floor, then perhaps this is a place where you come down onto your elbows. Either way, as long as you're feeling this lengthening through your inner leg line and maybe even the outsides of your calves, you're doing good. And just check in with yourself. Where's your breath? Your weight is more emphasized on the balls of your feet. Inhale, belly button to spine. Come all the way back up, flat back. Hands to either side of your hips. Inhale, rise all the way back up. Nice, pivot both feet toward the top of the mat and step forward. Tadasana, mountain pose. Okay, right arm comes out in front. Left arm wraps under, up and over. This is round two of eagle arms. Take two full breaths here. With each inhale, you imagine that your shoulders are drawing further away from each other, awakening any places that are knotted up or tight. And then bring a gentle bend into your knees. Fold forward. We're going to let gravity do some of the work here. If it feels all right, especially for your low back, to straighten out your legs at this point, go ahead, straighten out your legs, noticing that the weight is more or less emphasized on the balls of your feet. And you might even let one cheek rest on your arms. Nice. Unwrap your arms. Hands come forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, arms come up toward the sky. Hands to heart center, palms face forward. We'll come into one balancing posture. And it's up to you if you'd like to have your hands behind, beside, or in front for a modified warrior three, or those shoulders are really loving eagle arms. Come back with your right arm in front, left arm wrapping under, up, and over, and you can take a modified warrior three with eagle arms. Right foot grounds, right foot stays on the ground, and whenever you're ready, your gaze 2 feet in front of you. Allow that left foot to take flight. Both feet are activated. Left foot, it's not just dangling there. I lose balance when I let it dangle. You're pressing back with that left foot. Nice, and that leg doesn't have to come up very high, just hip height. Draw that left hip down toward the mat so you're not rolling open. Nice, inhale, come all the way back up to standing, and unwrap your arms, open them out to the sides. Left arm comes in front, right arm wraps under, up, and over. Eagle arms the other way. 2 breaths here as you imagine on each inhale, your shoulders drawing away from each other. Your elbows, your shoulders drawing away from each other. And then bring a gentle bend into your knees, fold forward. We'll let gravity do some of the work here. And as you fold forward, choose. Maybe you allow your one cheek to rest on your bicep. Maybe you straighten out your legs so that at the same time as you're opening up your shoulders, you're continuing and opening through your back leg line. And gently unwind your arms. Hands come to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, lower down. And inhale, arms come all the way up toward the sky. Hands to heart center. Palms face forward. A warrior three here. And you choose if you want your hands behind, beside, or in front, or in one more eagle arms on the same side. Wherever you are, left foot gets sticky, gets stuck, gets magnetized and strong, and that right leg picks up. Keep that right foot activated. Toes point down toward the mat. Your gaze 2 feet in front of you. Roll that right hip down. Steady breathing. Very nice. Gently, gracefully, come on back to standing. Gently, if you're in eagle arms, unwind your arms, open them right wide out beside you. Hands down beside, Tadasana, mountain pose. And inhale, arms up toward the sky. Gaze between your thumbs. Exhale, swan dive down toward the ground. Inhale, flat back, look forward. Exhale, plant your hands, hop or step toward the back of the mat, and take your flow, lowering down. Chaturanga Dandasana or onto your belly. Inhale, upward dog or cobra, and exhale, downward dog. Inhale, right leg up toward the sky. And let's come into pigeon. Exhale, right knee comes right behind your right hand. Lengthen that left leg back behind you, shoelace side of that foot on the ground. Inhale, sitting tall. You might find here that you need a block or a blanket or a book underneath that right hip. Plenty of options. And then when you're ready, take your time to slowly, if you want, lower down onto your elbows, or maybe your forehead on stacked fists, or maybe your forehead down on the mat. And opening through your right hip. Inhale, come on back up onto the palm of your hands. Nice. And allow your entire right sit bone to just plant down on the mat. Shift that, I'll face you so that you can see. Entire right sit bone so that it's down on the mat. Shift your right foot so that it's now parallel to the top of your mat. And we'll come into deer pose. That left leg has probably taken a bend, and that's a good thing. The left leg can be anywhere it wants to be. And you might feel an opening, maybe through that left leg here. And if you want a little bit more, maybe you lean back. You might have to play around with that back leg, your left leg, to bring it a little bit closer or further back so that you can sense an opening through that left hip flexor, that left quad. If you'd like, you might even come all the way down onto your elbows. A lot of tension, you already know this, but a lot of tension gets stuck in our neck and our shoulders and, of course, our hips. So whenever we release these areas of tension in the body that holds stress or memories of stress, we too are releasing it through our minds. Inhale. If you're on your elbows, come all the way back up onto the palm of your hands. Rock all the way up toward the front of the mat. Tuck your left toes behind you. And inhale, right leg up toward the sky. Exhale, plant it back down. And inhale, left leg up toward the sky. Pigeon on the opposite side whenever you're ready. Left knee behind your left wrist. Lengthen that right leg back behind you. Take your time. Take your time as you settle into pigeon, noticing if you need a blanket or any other support underneath your left hip. And then when you're ready, go ahead, lowering into your elbows or forehead over stacked fists. Or maybe just your forehead on the mat. Inhale, come back up onto the palms of your hands. Allow your entire left sit bone to come down onto the mat. Bring a bend into your right knee and shift that left shin so that it faces the short edge of your mat is completely parallel. Okay, dear, on the other side. Go ahead, come onto the back of your hands. Again, you might need to find a placement for that right leg, maybe a little further back if you're not feeling anything. Or maybe sometimes you need to come forward a little bit. And if you want even more than this, perhaps you come down onto your elbows. If you're on your elbows, now is a good time to come back up onto the palm of your hands and make your way wherever you are toward the top of the mat. Lengthen that right leg back behind you. Tuck your right toes underneath. And inhale, left leg up toward the sky. Exhale, plant it back down, your very last downward dog. Gently come down onto your knees. Sweep your feet out in front of you. Place the soles of your feet together as we take a short butterfly pose. Nice. Hang on to the outer edges of your feet. Allow your knees to drift off to the left and to the right. Tuck your chin in towards your chest, bringing introspection back into your practice. And if you'd like a little bit more, you can go ahead and fold forward. Inhale. Come all the way back up. Gently draw your knees together and lower all the way down onto your back. Hug your knees into your chest. A little bit of low back release here. If you don't feel any release for your low back, then draw your knees out just a couple of inches. Maybe you rock from side to side if it feels good. Nice and slow. Eventually, on your own time, find yourself with your feet right in front of you, flopped out to either which way. Your hands down beside you, shoulder blades nice and flat against the mat. And let's take a deep breath here to settle into Shavasana. Long, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, slide out through your mouth. Sink in, sink down. When you practice yoga, to reconnect to your entire being, to reconnect your mind to your body to your mind, so that you can function as your whole self, your full self. You create an anchor for yourself. You create a thread which you can follow to come back to that sense of ever-present stillness, peace, and clarity within you. And when you're tethered to this anchor, to this safe place, it doesn't matter so much anymore what's happening in your external world, in that it no longer feels like as if you're being dragged around like a rag doll, left and right and up and down, and just wherever the external circumstances are taking you. It doesn't feel like that so much anymore, because you have your very own anchor. And you know that rather being working from the outside in, you now have the power to, no matter what's happening on the outside, come from this place of peace, stillness, and clarity. See if you can soften just a little more. Your eyes drifting to the back of your head into the mat. See if your neck and shoulders can give in just a little more. Sink in. And now, with the benefits of your practice fully integrated within you, gently reawaken. Bring some movement into your body, your fingers and your toes, your hands and your feet. Eventually moving your arms and your legs, and maybe your arms even come up overhead. Nice, deep stretch. And as you exhale, draw your knees into your chest, your arms around your knees, hug yourself into a little ball, maybe rock from side to side, and eventually land on one side or the other. And still taking your time. Use your hands to help you up into a seated position. As you arrive, your hands come to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Close your eyes one last time as you bow in toward yourself. You take a moment here to recognize yourself for showing up on your mat today, for showing up for yourself, for your strength, for your openness, for your willingness, and of course, for the light within you. Gently flutter your eyes open. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. See you on Thursday. Namaste.